Hope you enjoy.
All right, guys. So just to go over one real quick. Again, I am Shane Scott. I am one of the Pro Series founders and also the Billings, Montana Pro 406 director. I have Mark Pulver, Team Bergara shooter, and I have Jason Spartan class, and I have Jason Nedved, really good shooter, also one of our directors down in the Mitchell, one of our new clubs, Mitchell, South Dakota. To bring everyone up to speed, we went to the Polar Vortex Match out in, well, I guess it was Rush Lake, New York Mills area, Minnesota. Originally, I think it was supposed to be down in Marshall, ended up getting moved. And yeah, so we're kind of doing like a little bit of a breakdown of that and what all happened at the match.
Yep.
Weather was very fun.
Not for me.
Well,
we'll get into how it was 3 different matches.
Yeah, it was 3 different matches. So, welcome everyone, or welcome guys. Thank you for being here. I'm glad we all got home safe. Weather was interesting. Jason, I'm glad you got home safe. Yeah. Didn't roll over. No accidents. That's good.
Yeah.
It's a long drive back to South Dakota.
Not as bad as you guys, so I'm not going to complain.
You know, it
was pretty good, actually.
It was, because I was staying at my mom's, and she lives just outside of Fergus, so it really wasn't that far of a drive for the match. And then we waited and went home Sunday, and it was a long drive home, but it wasn't bad at all. It was nice and fine. I mean, once we got to
snowdrift and a little bit of ice, but nothing major on that service highway to Fargo, and then it got up to 52 when we got to Forsyth.
Yeah, so, I was gonna say it was like in the 50s in Montana.
You wouldn't even know we were in at the Polar
Vortex. Back home it was 57. Back home.
Why? Like literally, why Minnesota? Why? Yeah. When I pulled back into Billings, I went and got a car wash, and everyone's car was just covered in mud, like dirt, mud, and mine was like white from like just the snowdrift blasting me. So. Yeah. But all right, so let's break down this match. It was the Polar Vortex NRL22X match.
Eric Gale, match director.
Yep, Eric Gale, great guy. Actually just messaged him on Facebook. Let him know, how the match went. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. The weather made the match very difficult. I don't think the course of fire wasn't too bad. I mean, it had some challenges, but I really think it was a pretty decent course of fire. It wasn't too hard. It wasn't too easy. It's a good variety, in my opinion. What did you guys think on the course of fire on the challenges?
At the beginning with me being in flight 1 with the winds and the snow and stuff like that, I thought it was a good course of fire, a little challenging here and there with the winds, because the winds for me was coming out of the south. So like the NPS stage, that one, you got it hidden behind the trees and stuff like that. So that was a little different. So I liked that. And then how he
that stage was really hard for me. And I could not see the target in the tree. I thought I saw it, and when I got down behind the rifle, I could not see it at all. I looked everywhere. It didn't exist.
I shot through one of your targets.
Yeah, Mark shot through it, which was actually pretty funny. I watched that happen. Yep, so that was pretty tough. And then what else? What other ones do you think were...
Well, I like how the truck one was... That's when you switched winds, basically, because you started shooting with the wind, and then you were shooting and you needed a right hold instead of the left that you've been doing all day. And
the truck stage had that right to left wind when you were shooting targets 2 and 3, and when you swapped to targets 1 and 4, it was almost like a tailwind. So it almost felt like it was pushing it a little left too. I don't know. I want to
for me, I had to go half mil right for the
and when we shot, it was target 1 was about 2/10 left because the wind was coming at a 7 o'clock facing the targets, and then when you swung right for targets 2 and 3, you had that right to left wind. But it is interesting, and having, when I first got to our first stage and then you poked me on the shoulder leaving, it was like we were in 2 different
hug. Let's be real.
Yeah, you had frost on your mustache. You looked windburnt, and it was like,
Yeah.
wow, this.
Yeah.
I was like, this is
I
gonna
was
be rough.
I was gonna say the same thing. As soon as I saw you, Jason, I thought everyone was Jason. By the way,
Yeah, I had to sense
I was
him,
literally
like,
trying to find him. I saw like an RO with his wife or or a woman next to him, and I thought it was you from afar. So I'm like sitting there waving, like
I
Jason,
was like, that's not Jason.
Jason.
And then we're walking up to another stage. He's like, that's Jason. I was like, that's not Jason. I haven't
I
seen
was
him.
looking for a tall guy and a wife. Okay, I was looking. There was only like a few women there and a
Yeah.
couple tall. I'm like trying to find you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, when we saw you coming down the long stretch right there, through the middle of the range, yeah, you look beat. I mean,
We
I
did
wouldn't
get
say
beat, man.
tired, but more just like
I never got cold though. It was 2 degrees when we started, and I never got cold.
I never got cold that whole match. The only, I mean, well, then again, I was wearing like 30 layers, but the only thing that happened was on one of the stages, my glove ripped and my fingertips got freezing. I mean, I couldn't feel them. I had to swap
Gosh, you
gloves,
should have
but
got one of those hand huts I had.
bro, I had other gloves. Okay, I was looking. You didn't have everything set up beforehand. I was
I
looking
know.
for you. I needed a dope card. I was
Yeah.
like gonna buy it before the match. I had to
Yeah.
borrow one from JT.
Oh yeah. No,
And
sorry.
then the one I borrowed from JT, the magnet was reversed, so it wasn't connecting. It was repelling
Oh.
my dope card. So I had to go grab another one from JT.
God, that's
So
hilarious.
that one matched, but
Huh.
yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, you definitely seemed beat. I mean, just
It was
elements.
mentally, yeah, and the elements was big because we literally at the beginning, you guys were, still in bed when we were shooting, and
Oh yeah,
it was literally snowing so bad, and your gun was sitting there, safe, bolt or meg block in, and then your action open. Obviously, the snow was swirling into our actions to where it literally the whole action was just full of snow. So,
yeah. That's what they
are you
told us.
ready? And then I'm over here fingering my action, trying to get the chamber, trying to get all the snow out. I'm blowing on it, trying to get all the crap out. It's like, oh my god, seriously. And then that I think my two buddies they quit after stage 2
Yeah, I was
because
gonna
there
say
was just
that
so much
was
snow blowing in there.
was that Mark Flotmeyer.
No, that was Matt and Jeff.
Oh, because I know, I was talking to Kevin and he said, yeah, he found out that Mark was going, Mark Flotmeyer,
Hmm.
I think, which is his nephew, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And he said he was going, and I was like, oh well, I never saw him. Did he end up leaving? And he goes, I don't know. He might have, because I know like that I was told by Eric that a couple people left. That they're like, dude, I'm not even grouping. Even like I'm a foot
Yeah.
by a foot group. I mean, like
Yep.
people were having problems. So I mean, I did too. When I got there, I had to side in, and my Ely, that wax coating,
Yep.
I would get failure to feed every single round. I had to swap
That's nuts.
um to my SK plus, and it worked great. I hadn't had a problem the rest of the day, but yeah, I feel bad for squad one. You guys had it really rough. I mean, even I think how many guys was in squad one? Maybe 6, 8,
6 of us.
and you guys, you said you timed out, right?
Yeah, like the guys that were having issues with their actions, they quit after 2 stages and said it's not worth wrecking their rifle. Well, Eric said, "All right, well you can thaw them out." We asked the owner of the range if we could close the actions. Be extra cautious, make sure they're empty. So the ROs were coming up, making sure they're empty. We'd close it, and then we'd secure it closed. And it helped keeping the snow out, but it was just brutal. So they thought out the rifles came out. They didn't finish 4 stages. My wife and I, we didn't finish one or 2 stages. And Mark and Ryan, that was also with us, they didn't finish 1 or 2 also.
So
So
yeah,
yeah, we were just battling the elements and trying to get there, and equipment's slow, and yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with the whole squad system is, I think you could do a 3 flight system and do it like, in the summer or something like that, where, weather's probably going to be pretty consistent.
Hmm.
In the winter, I mean, you guys, it's a gamble, right? Like, me and Mark originally thought, hey, we're going to pick squad one. Like, that's what we originally signed up for because we thought that'd be the best time for weather. Like,
I
early
had
morning.
wanted to beat the wind, just like when you mentioned it earlier. I was like, I had the same thought. I was like, there's less wind in the morning, and
Yep.
even in the winter time, and then as the sun comes up, thermals start to go up and the wind starts picking up, and it was
That
the
was my
opposite.
theory.
It turned out
Which
our years of experience.
Yeah, right.
Downhill.
What actually
all the
happened and what
elements.
we all thought that happened. Yeah. Which is crazy. And then, like, not to, like, be negative, but like squad 3, I feel had it pretty easy. I mean, when they started, I think it was still a little windy when squad 3 started.
It was actually dying down. When we
Yeah, I thought so
started,
too.
I measured my Kestrel an average of about 7 miles an hour with a gust up to 12, but average was about 6 to 7. It steadily got less and less throughout the day because my original wind hold at 100 yards was about 1 mil on that pop cam challenge. And then when we got down to the end and we were shooting the triangles off the barricade, the standing, kneeling, sitting, prone stage, I was holding 2/10 left. So that's how much the wind had died.
And I think max it was 17 for me in the morning.
Yeah,
it was anywhere between, I think, 9 to 17, depending on like which berm or whatever. It was difficult.
Yeah, because I was me and Mark were in the same squad, obviously, but yeah, I think I was the consistent like 7 to 9, 7 to 8, and then it was like the pop. I had like random flare ups, 13 miles an hour. So yeah, I mean, I remember running out to the car when we were all done and we were all talking and in the clubhouse, and squad 3 was out there, and I remember running the car a few times and grabbing some stuff, and I'm like, wow, it's like nice. There's like no wind.
the temperature
So
had gone up, the wind had
yep,
come down.
it was.
When
It went
we
up
were
quite
shooting,
a bit too. It was like 20 degrees.
We didn't quite have it as bad as you, Jason, but the biggest issue I dealt with was a little bit of snow and crystallization collecting on the bullets.
So say, what about your bolt? Your bolt snapped.
Well, yeah. So we can get to that in a moment.
You had your bolt snap midway
we'll get
through.
to that in a moment.
It's a normal thing for him, apparently.
Yeah.
I do it often. On most stages, I did mag changes when I normally wouldn't on a 10 rounder, just because the bullet would feed into the bolt face, but then it would not push forward because there was so much gunk built up on the bullet. So then I'd have to eject it, drop mags, change, and then I could feed one. And I probably dropped one shot on a couple of stages from that. Not a huge deal, but just an unexpected time constraint that I didn't plan for. The bolt breaking you mentioned, at the end, when you told us you timed out, we knew we were in for a rough day. So we started speeding along, and there's 3 of us. We had Molly, who's also on Team Bagheera. We get back to the end of the tripod stage. We get to the tunnel and the KWL. There's no ROs there, so we're trying to find an open stage and get through our last 4 stages before time runs out. So Shane goes and shoots the tripod stage. I shoot the KWL stage. We flip-flop. I go back to the tripod stage. I start shooting it. On my 3rd target, I go to pull my bolt open, and it comes all the way out. And I was like, yep, I just broke my bolt. So the RO let me run and get my other bolt. I was running back. Eric saw me, and he thought I was trying to flag him down. I was just telling him, I was like, no, I'm running, trying not to time out because I broke my bolt. And second time in 1 year I've broken a bolt out of my rifle.
I think you're a little too aggressive. You need to be nice to her. You're being a little rude.
I run it with conviction.
Pure muscle.
Yeah, I didn't have. I mean, I had more failure to fires, and I think I don't know. I mean, it could have been the cold.
And I didn't have a single one.
I had more failure to fires, but it was more like, open the bolt, just then close the bolt. Like, don't even pull it back. I mean, just open, same round, just open, close,
just
fire.
Lift the bolt, put it back down.
Yep, and that's all I had to do. I did have 2 mags break. The lip snapped off, which that sucked. And then what else happened to me? I mean, I use Ely normally, so I have a ton of wax buildup that I really need to clean, and especially in the cold, it didn't help.
You dropped your bag on a couple stages.
Oh my lord, dude! Okay, no, the biggest problem with the match was my own brain in the cold. Like, in any match I've ever shot, if I drop a bag, I'm gonna pick up the bag. That's common sense. But apparently not this match because I dropped a bag and I think it fell off a cliff and I can't use it anymore. I literally just left the bag on the ground, panicked, and didn't grab it. I don't know why. I honestly I did it on the truck stage. I did it on
The
the big
railroad
barricade
tie.
stage. Yeah, railroad
Oh,
barricade stage.
is that the MPS barricade? Is that what it's called? Or is that the Rush Lake barricade? It's
That's
got a
Rush
name.
Lake.
Rush Lake.
Okay,
It's Rush
Rush
Lake.
Lake barricade.
Yep. I dropped on those two. I dropped it on I think one of the final stage. Me and the bag were not friends. I dropped my bag so many times.
And that's
I
just a mental
oh,
mistake of
100%.
just taking a second to be like, let me grab my bag, get back in position, and then you'll make the impacts as opposed to forcing yourself to shoot through the course of fire.
Well, you even
Yeah.
saw I was very time motivated. So like
Yes.
we had about got through half like 5 of the 11 stages and there was like an hour left. And I was like, "Mark, you take Molly. You guys gonna start, you guys stick together. I'm gonna start pulling the sled." I shot the stage, pulled the sled the next stage, started getting data. Mark and them got there. They shot it. I was already done shooting. I pulled this. I mean, I was like panicking. Me and time because
Yeah.
I saw you timed out, Jason. And I was
Yep.
like, I'm gonna rush. I was running all over the place. The chicken with the head cut off, man. I was panicking. We ended up getting to the last stage, literally, I think with like 3 minutes left, and they're like, "All right, you guys can finish the stage, and then we're done." And like we barely made it, but
Nice.
I mean, I was panicking. I mean, we did in an hour and a half. We did 5 stages. We did the other 6 in an hour. So like
Yeah.
it. We were really pushing. I mean, I
Yeah.
was nervous.
Yeah, I would
So
definitely go after that differently, knowing what I know now. That's for sure.
yeah,
Like, even if I
I,
did get in flight one again and just have all the elements, I still would have went out there and captured the data and then figured out because we had the ranges the night before. So I had all that written down. I would have just got my elevations and just dealt with the wind and deal with it because my barrel froze up. You can literally see my scores just start dropping the more I shot because
where'd you
it
guys
was just
start?
everywhere. We started on one.
Oh, so you went one all the way down.
Yeah, and you could see my scores, 8, 8,
Gotcha.
7, and then it just dropped off when the further we got going. It just dropped off to twos and ones and one, and and then we didn't finish because we were dealing with
Yeah.
elements and how to handle our rifles and what to do, and yeah. But I would
Yeah, I
definitely
think
just a couple tenths off ain't gonna miss. Those were generous targets for elevation wise. So
yeah.
you could have at least got really close on your dope. So you can grab your dope card because we wrote all of ours out. Grab your
Yeah.
dope card that has that elevation. All right, go. Because I'm over here using my Kestrel when it's 0 degrees, trying to get my elevation, and it's just
Yeah, I noticed mine did not like to boot fast with the cold,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
which I had never tried in sub-zero temperatures, so it was a learning experience. Luckily, I had gone outside and done the dope before and during our safety brief, so I was like, okay.
And that's what I should have done.
But just little things you don't even think about until you experience this firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time restraint was the big factor, I think, because most matches or all the matches you go to, you get to a stage, there's 10 people in your stage or 10 people in your group. You guys, get your data. Someone's shooting. You have quite a bit of time in between the
You
next time
probably
you're
have
shooting.
25 to 30 minutes on average between when you shoot and the next time you shoot. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of downtime to get yourself prepped, read the course of fire, get some
Yep.
wind, get a game plan. This was a lot of, even with 3 people, it was like, yeah, we didn't spend a whole lot of time talking. I think we spent the most time gaming the truck stage, and which oddly enough was my favorite stage, even though I timed out on it. But I thought that was the most challenging stage,
hmm
and it was well designed. It had a lot of
Yeah, I
movement.
really like that one. That was fun. Shooting all the different directions, all the different positions.
Now
Yeah.
with the snow in the truck, it made it a little different. Trying to get into position where you're like, okay, there's like this snow bank built into the truck that I'm trying to lean
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
But
I like that.
no downtime, no time to chit chat. So
And the reason he did that was because he's like, it's northern Minnesota in the winter. I don't want everybody just standing out there for 30 minutes per stage, freezing their butts off, watching other people shoot. So that's why he did it
Yeah,
this
well,
time.
we were talking about this, and I was trying to think like Would I have rather? I do like the flight system, but I'm trying to put it at that match particular. Like, is that a good match to put it at? I see the benefit in it, but I'm also like wondering, like, to be honest, I wasn't cold, so I think I could have stayed out there
Mm-hmm.
and
Well, we
not had
weren't
the
cold because we were
moving.
true. We're
running
all hustle. Yeah, yeah,
to
that
the
is, that is.
stages.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if if it the flight, how, because that was my first ever match I've done like a flight system and or like a three
Yeah.
The
flight
best people
times.
to ask would have been the ROs who were out there from the beginning to the end, and even I saw them going into their vehicles. Some of them would come to the clubhouse to warm up, so they were obviously
Because
struggling
it's a
as
long
well.
day for them. It
Yeah,
was
Oh yeah. Those
seven
are
and a
the
half
true
hours.
heroes. Good
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah.
We're out there
Thank
for
you to all
two
the
and a
ROs
half,
on the
3
guys.
hours. They were out there the whole day. So they're the true
Yeah,
heroes.
yeah.
because I mean, you think 7.5 hours for 3 squads, 60 people. Let's just say you could easily get through a match in 5 hours. Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
with 60 people all doing big squads. So it's the fact that does a shooter want to stay out for 5 hours and have more time, or do they? I think that format would work great if literally everyone strictly was solo. I think a lot of people did two groups, twos and threes,
Yeah.
and when like that slows you down. Like I know there's a lot of groups of threes, and looking back, if I did it next year, I wouldn't be in it. I mean, I like being in a group with Mark and Molly, but I don't. I think I'd have to go solo or find a different group of like one other person.
I mean, I don't think solo would work because that's too many people and not enough stages. I think the way we could have optimized it for the squads 2 and 3 is you started on a specific stage with your group and then you rotated in a specific order, like left to right. We did a lot of bouncing around, and then
For
sometimes you
whatever's
had some.
open.
Yeah, and sometimes you
Yeah,
had jam ups where you're waiting for a couple of guys to finish or this to open.
yeah, like
And
even to have like a stage that, yeah, it's all you're still in a squad of 2 or 3 and you still have a time. Even just getting the random stage you have to start on, I think would have made a difference. Cause like we all started hiking out there having the same thought, let's work way backwards. So most of us got out there and then we're like, oh, well, the
No
end
open
stages are
spot.
already busy. So like work your way back. So then we started in the middle and actually had to go all the way to the end of the range, turn around and come all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we started on like stage 5, went all the way up to 10, turned around, came all the way back. Yeah, I think yeah, that's probably a way you could probably
I don't know. Looking
make
at
it
my
work.
score, I don't want to do flights again.
No. What did you end up getting? I actually don't think I ever pulled up your score.
My whole flight, our first flight, we're in the bottom 5.
And there's 6 people.
And Mark and I, when we're shooting other courses of fire,
Yeah, you
yeah,
guys
we
are
only
pretty.
miss 1 or 2 targets.
That's one thing that we and Mark were talking about on the car ride. It was like, I remember I didn't remember exactly what place you got. I remember saying you were pretty low, and I was like, that does show that weather had a big effect on the
47 shooters, and I got 42nd.
Yeah, and what, Mark, you end up getting what, 5th, 6th?
yeah, I dropped 4 shots behind first because I believe Kyle and Tyler tied, and then I was still 2 shots below third and fourth to
I
end
would
at
love
fifth.
I would love to have the data pulled and see from squad 1, 2, and 3 where the scores averaged.
Yeah,
Like
same here.
I'm willing to bet that squad 3
We're more in the top
probably
half.
was in the, yeah,
And
more
then squad 2 or flight 2 are kind of mid pack, and then
mid pack.
flight 1 is definitely in the bottom because I can
Yeah,
see all of
100%.
our
You guys
names
had
right
the
here.
worst. You had the worst weather condition. Oh, you have it pulled up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and for like what you were starting to mention, you and I are close enough together that if we're at a match and we're not squatted, we can, like, how are you shooting on this? How you shooting
Yeah,
on
you
that?
and I are always a point or 2 apart, really.
Yeah. And then when you came over and you're like, yeah, I shot a 2 on this stage, and then I just shot a 9, I was like, well, that's not good. I was like,
Yeah.
something's wrong.
Yeah, my barrel froze up at the end. So literally I was chasing the rounds like on which one is it? The pop can
Yeah.
one. I impacted the first one. I shot the second one. I just see my round go off. So I move over and correct it. And I hit right where it should have been. I go to the third one. Okay, I dial what I think it should be, and I shoot. Nothing. I'm like, am I even at the right target? So I shoot again, and I see the round go short. And so I holler out, am I aiming at the right target underneath the strap? They're like, yep, you're shooting at the correct target. So I just, same hold, shoot, and then it goes high left. I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, maybe it just, it just kept going out in the field. So then I just corrected to the right. And I'm like, maybe I got too much wind. So I went to the right because it was left or right wind. And so I went to the right. And then it went a mil to the right. I'm like, oh my gosh, the wind picked up, right? So I go a mil to the left of, correcting again. And then it went, I think it was like another half mil left of what I just did. And I was just chasing this round everywhere. And that's when I knew my barrel, it froze. Like I didn't stand a chance. I was one of those guys that probably had 11-inch group at 50 yards. It was.
Yep. We were talking to some guys inside, and they were talking about how like there is now products that actually make like barrel warmers that like will go over your barrel and like basically warm it in between. I know.
But see that would be tough because with how negative the temperature were in the morning
and the snow flying.
Yeah, and heavy wind, you warm up your barrel and then it's going to freeze, and then now you're going to get inconsistent groupings. You're going to have like a warm shot and then a cold shot.
And literally snow was drifting into our rifles and our barrels and stuff,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think there was any like clear cut way unless, some of the stages they had the tents and the warmers. If somehow every stage had that and you put your rifle and gear in there while you were waiting.
Still, I wonder if that would heat up to the point where you take it out and
Yes.
now it's because I know there was a shooter. I was talking to him and I forget his name in the clubhouse. Was it Chad who said he was putting his gun in a bag every time?
Oh, there was a few people did that.
He like had it in it. So literally he just had it in his bag. I asked if he had hand warmers. He's like, nope.
A lot of hand warmers in the bag.
Yeah, I'm wondering like if people were doing that and that helped.
Yep.
Just shoot your stage, put it back in the bag, go to the next stage. The match definitely elements. I mean, like we said at the beginning, it felt like almost like 3 separate matches for 3 different groups. If we all shot on Jason's, squad 1, I think I would have shot even worse than I already did. So yeah, it was a very. I don't get me wrong. I had a blast at the match. I definitely
it was
do
a
it
great
again.
course of fire.
It was honestly it was like you never want to have a course of fire that's way too challenging or way too easy. You want like that perfect kind of like 70-80 percentile match, and I really think it was that.
Yeah,
but
it
wasn't
86% one.
Yep.
Right, because it was 101 out of 118.
Yep.
And we both shot it last year, and that was a real tough course of fire in and of itself. And I thought this year the course of fire was challenging, but more balanced.
Yeah.
But I also think though the whole 80% margin that you want to achieve as a match director, what I think it was achieved with squad 3, but I don't think it was achieved with squad 1. I would love to see what squad 1's like I would love to see like squad 1, 2, and 3 all split up and put in their own match results and see what the scores actually showed and how it reflected. Because I'm willing to bet that. I mean, obviously, you even said looking at squad 1, you guys were like pretty close to the bottom or over the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to compare like 1, 2, and 3. I bet you it was a pretty big gap. I mean,
yeah, we
not like
got 212 points total. Was Mark, Matt, and my wife. Like,
how did your wife
that in 2-3 stages?
Yeah.
It's like,
how did your wife feel about the match?
Oh, she enjoyed it. She stayed warm and everything like that. But it was the weather. That was, I'm shooting a match almost every weekend. And that was by far the most difficult weather conditions I've ever been in.
Yeah. I was going to say that seemed, I mean,
and I've shot negative 23 and it was negative 43 wind chill before. But this was worse because of the cold and the wind and the snow. That match that was negative 23, I'd rather shoot that again with the negative 43 wind chill. I'd rather shoot that again than this one.
Over. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed the match. I think Eric did a good job. Course fire was great.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like I said, it wasn't too hard, it wasn't too easy, it's perfect. I just think really it stayed up or it stayed true to its name. I mean, it was the Polar Vortex. It was a cold, snowy Minnesota day. Lots of wind and snow drifts, and it was snowing when we got there. It was snowing pretty much most of the day until probably around noon.
Yeah, until Flight 3 went out.
Yeah, that's about
Around 1
right.
o'clock, it was calm.
Yeah.
It looked like it was a different day entirely.
Yep.
But I know.
And good on them for like hindsight's 2020. Next year,
I took a gamble and I lost.
Yeah, next year it'll be the opposite though, Jason. We'll be like, let's sign up for
we
the
all in
afternoon,
squad 3.
but the morning's gonna have it easier, and that's just how it's gonna play out.
Yeah, someone that came up to me, he's like, 9 out of 10 times you would have won that bet. It would have been calm wind, just nice, clear. Yeah.
So what you're telling me is next year I just got to make sure I'm in the exact opposite group than you are, Jason.
Yeah, apparently.
So if you're in 3, I'm in 1. Like vice versa. I'm just gonna stay completely opposite.
Stay away. It's not gonna be good.
Oh Lord. Well, I'm glad everyone got back safe.
Yeah.
It was a fun match. I think that's the last match for both of you for the year, isn't it? Are you guys going to the NRL
for
any more NRL
22X matches?
Yeah, for 22X matches that's the last one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the NRL Nebraska Center. That's the Yeti match, right, Jason?
Yeah, that's Center Fire. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna
place to crash. You're more than welcome.
Appreciate it. If I need points after that, I'll go to the Gem State standoff the next weekend to qualify for the NRL's last Center Fire Championship in Colorado at the Cameo Shooting Sports Complex.
That is by far the best complex I've ever been to.
I'm looking forward to the championship there, and I believe the NRL22X Championship is going to be there the following year. And you've shot there. It's a great facility. It's huge.
Gosh, it's amazing.
You shoot in the middle of the Rocky Mountains in the Rocky Mountain chain. They can accommodate everybody. It's a great facility.
I told that match director I'd be back. That was by far one of the best courses of fire I've ever been to. We had like one stage that was 12 rounds. Everything else was more than 12 rounds. God, that was so fun. Running through the bushes, running through the creek. Oh gosh, it was so fun. Shooting up the hillsides. Oh yeah, that was by far. We'll definitely fly out to that one again. I'm going up there for the Vortex Team Sniper Challenge. So I'm excited for that one.
And then, Memorial Day weekend, we have the NRL 22 and 22X Championship. And then next weekend after that, or the following weekend, we have our league's championship that you guys will be coming to.
Hopefully.
Yep, the Pro Series Championship will be that weekend.
A lot of championships coming up in a row.
Yeah, I'm only hitting one. I have one more match I have to hit. It's a Snowville, Utah match. I'll be going to that one in March, and then I'll be done. And then we'll see. I want an invitation. I want to get top 100. I'm pushing for it. Right now, this last score didn't do me too good. I need to do good at the Utah match to hopefully pick top 100. So hopefully I squeeze in there. Like 99, I'll take it, Top 100 is all I want. So I can tell we're all exhausted. We're tired. It's been a long weekend.
Yeah.
I think it was a short little podcast, only 30 minutes.
But I do want to give a huge thanks to the match director and a huge thanks to Vortex. They put on a lot of that. It was a 22X match, but Vortex really stepped up. They provided over half that prize table. They provided all the tripods and all the binoculars for all the ROs. Then they donated a Razor spotter to one of the ROs and a brand new tripod, the Radiant tripod with ball head, to an RO also. So Vortex did all that. They supplied the T-shirts, everything. It was huge on their part.
The whole part, what they did was amazing. I really hope they do it again because they did awesome. It was a good job.
Yeah, Eric did a good job with that. I'd like to give a shout out to the
big
ROs.
Thanks. Thanks to Eric.
I mean, they all had a good attitude.
All the ROs.
They were suffering worse than we all were, and they came out the day before. So.
Yeah, and how much snow was there? I think Eric said they had a snow plow and snow blow for 7 hours.
I think some of them were telling me they didn't even finish the course of fire. So yeah, they put in a lot of commitment that weekend.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So even though it wasn't perfect for everybody, it still turned out well, and everybody there made it run well.
Overall, it was a good match.
Yep.
It was a long match. I think we're all tired.
Yep.
I think we're ready to call it and go to bed.
Yep, that's for sure.
So, well, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys hopping on here. A little debrief. I'll probably do these after every NRLX match I go to. So, probably I'll do one more by myself, I guess. But after that, hopefully we can have another one like this after the NRL Championship match, and after that,
we could probably do one while we're there too.
Yeah, because we're not leaving till Monday. We're staying. It finishes up Sunday, but we're staying another night because by the time it gets done and stuff, and then 14-hour drive or whatever. So
I did this.
Well, if I qualify and I go.
Oh, geez,
we've explained. Yeah,
I want to qualify in the top 100 of the NRL.
Oh yeah, Mark, we talked
about my goal. I will not go. I will not go unless I finish top 100.
He wants a personalized auto invite.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. I want both of you to hand deliver it to me. I want both of you to come to my door and hand deliver me this 99th or 100th place.
Meanwhile, Jason and I and a lot of the other South Dakota people are just like, yeah, we'll be there. Like,
yeah, you guys already know you're gonna be
there. I already reserved my room probably 6 months ago.
Yeah. What time are you getting in?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sitting 8th right now, so I think I'm gonna make it.
It must be nice. Must be nice.
And Pulver, you're in 22nd, buddy.
Yeah, just
he's gonna hop up after this match. Because I think when we were looking at it last...
Yeah, you got a 92.4, and then the rest are in the 80s. So, yeah, you'll hop up a little bit.
And he got a 96, I think, at the match. So, he should hop up pretty high up there, I'm assuming.
Oh, he ain't gonna catch me, though.
If you're not
what are you at?
Let's just be honest.
I'm in 8th right now, and I got 195, 4.2.
Yeah. I think Mark will be like 190. So, yeah, he'll be...
you're going to be close, 10th. Buddy. Yeah, he's going to be close.
Get there.
Yeah,
Did you win any matches this year?
No, I came in 2nd both times.
Yeah. I came in 2nd at the Badlands Brawl, but Jason had a good enough gap on me that it wasn't. It was a
Jason Anderson.
Jason, yes, thank you. Jason Anderson had a big enough gap on me that I think I finished 90% or less. Might have been 88%. It was a good gap.
Yeah.
He had a solid lead that match.
Yeah, he won both his matches in Minnesota, and then that Badlands Raw, he won both of those. So he's sitting at perfect 200.
He did 2 or 3 matches this year, I think, with NRLX.
Jason Anderson?
Anderson?
Yeah.
No, he's only done 2.
Only did 2?
Yep.
So I had considered going down to Paul Dowlin's match this next weekend, but I kind of just need a breather before the 2-day matches start, and it's the winter time, so it's hard to tell what the weather is.
How far is it from here?
From me, it was 9.5 hours. So that's a cakewalk for me.
It's like 7. It's like that's like another going. That's another Minnesota run for me.
How far was that for you guys?
9.5 for me, and I picked him up, and it was 7.5. I guess 7 for him.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
5 for me. So
I'm just ready for bed. I like when you guys I was waiting for waiting for you to ready for the podcast, and I was just laying on the couch like, dude, I don't really want to get up. I just want to lay here. You messaged me, I'm like, dude, I don't want to get up.
Yeah.
So well, thank you guys. It was really good seeing you guys. Fun shooting. Hopefully we can do another one of these after the next match, and
definitely.
In the meantime, I guess hopefully the next match I see you guys at will be the finals. Hopefully with my top 100 invite. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I want. So, all right, guys. You guys have a good night. Thank you for being here. We'll talk to you guys.
Godspeed.
See ya.